Hello everyone, I am the Shinigami,
And I am the Quincy.
and today we are doing a discussion video. Surprise, surprise. We will be talking about um, just some theories we have on Ikumi Unagiya, the Vandenreich, and the Ishida household, like the members of the Ishida household. Um, I'm not sure if there's anything else. I think that's just it.
I don't think so.
Okay. Alright. Well, so I think we should start with Ikumi Unagiya. I think it'll lead to other names. So, okay. Um, the Quincy and I were talking, and we have a feeling that Ikumi is quite possibly a Quincy or even a member of the Vandenreich. And I'll say why I think so, and then you can say why you think so, Quincy. Um, well, first thing is the fact that she was able to see Ichigo's substitute badge, his Shinigami badge. That is invisible to normal humans, so she was able to not only see it but interact with it. If you think about Shinigamis and ghosts, most of the time they can just pass right through another human, but the fact that she was able to interact with it means she must have a relatively high spiritual powers. Also, um, she just I just have this feeling about her. She's the one that Ichigo turns to. He's always talking about being the older brother and taking care of everybody and protecting everybody. He's always there for them, his younger siblings and his friends. And she's just sort of somebody that Ichigo can turn to whenever the world's too much for him. And Ichigo did twice. He did in the Fullbring arc whenever nobody else believed him. He ran from his house and Ikumi found him. I believe she was driving. Or was she outside her house? I don't know. But during the Fullbring arc, Ichigo ran all the way to her house, or whatever. And after he was banished from Soul Society, he didn't go home to talk to his dad right away. He went to Ikumi's place, and he got a shower there, and he ate there, and he just went to talk to her in general. So there's got to be something with her character. Kubo wouldn't put so much time into a character that's not going to make much of a difference later on in this arc if she doesn't mean something. So, and since the Quincy's here, I'll let him tell you why. We have our theories about her being a Quincy slash Vandenreich member. Quincy.
Well, I know I said this in in the in the last chapter review of Bleach, but Ikumi is acting way too damn chill right now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she saw the Shinigami badge, then she saw Ishin,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that she was waiting outside, like near a pole instead of at the front door when Ichigo ran out, like I knew I said this, but she knows something.
Mm-hmm.
She knew exactly what was going on inside the house. And if you look at it closely, she shares a striking resemblance to Katsugiri. I know Kubo likes to reuse faces, but you guys cannot deny this. Her face looks a lot like Katsugiri's, and if Katsugiri were to tie her hair back, it will look a lot like Ikumi. So, like he said, the theory is that she's actually Katsugiri's younger sister, and that she is a mixed blood Quincy.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. You guys remember the scene in the Fullbring arc where not Katsugiri, Ikumi runs in and drags Ichigo away. And then in the very next panel, we see Uryu. It's just me, but if Ikumi isn't meant to be like a main part of the story or this arc, then Kubo wouldn't have like drawn to seeing all that Ikumi did to Ichigo. So right there was like the first thing that came to mind when I thought of Ikumi being a Quincy. Like, why would Kubo make Uryu the only one in the courtyard see Ikumi or even say anything about it? So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. We also thought of something else. I know everybody's theories are going to be like, well, if she's Katagiri's sister, wouldn't she have died whenever Katagiri died? And Ichigo said something about her being. He said this not like right before the Everything But the Rain mini arc started. He said, "How can you be my sister if you're like almost 10 years older than me?" And we also heard that Ishin said something about 10 years ago that the Quincy died, and that doesn't make any sense now, and never mind. But I came up with the theory, well, we came up with the theory, that whenever Juhabok was sucking out all of the mixed blood Quincy's powers and whatnot, we have a theory that Katagiri's dying wish was that Ikumi, her younger sister, be given the rest of her powers so that she could survive and so that she could live. And yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, so the rest of her powers be given to her younger sister so that she could live on. And that I'm guessing that Ryukin made a pact with her. He said if I willingly give my wife's life away, I will give up on being a Quincy, basically, and maybe I'll spend the rest of my life working to save lives instead of giving them up. So he makes a pact, transfers whatever powers Katagiri has left into her younger sister, saving her life so that in the future she would live on. And maybe this is possible, maybe oh my god. Maybe that's why Ikumi, hasn't pulled out a full bow yet. Maybe she just has enough to where she's able to see pluses and maybe even Shinigami or ghosts. But that would explain why she was waiting and a bunch of other stuff. Do you have anything to add to that part? Quincy?
Just a little thing. Just a little thing. Just a very small thing. You guys remember way back in the Soul Society arc? Yes, I'm going way back then when Uryu fought Mary, and then he had a flashback of his grandpa and his dad. His dad said, Uryu says, why do you hate being a Quincy so much? And his dad said, well, there's no money in it. But he also said something else. He said, you have no business to be in it, and you have no talent for it. So, with the business part being meant for the Wandenreich, that he doesn't want Uryu to be a part of the Wandenreich. That's just something that came to mind whenever we were talking about all these theories.
Yeah.
Of course, last chapter we all know Uryu joined the Vandenreich, but he could be a double agent. But yeah, I mean,
maybe we should add that to this discussion too.
Maybe we should.
Yeah. I'll just finish up real quick on Ikumi then.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, That's about it for Ikumi. I cannot think of anything else for her. If you have any questions about my theory at all, feel free to comment below or on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever, and I'll answer. So it's just right now, for some reason, I can't remember everything that I ever said about this theory. So moving on. Yeah.
Something else about Ryukin. I have a gut feeling that the only reason why Ryukin helped restore Uryu's Quincy powers was because he saw Katsugiri inside Uryu.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna help my son regain his powers. That's just a thought. Tell me what you guys think.
That's interesting, yeah. Now should we discuss the Uryu being a member of the Vandenreich?
Yes.
I think we should address this because we have been seeing a lot of hate towards Uryu on Twitter. So, would you prefer to go first on your theories as to why he joined, or would you rather I go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Uryu joined the Wandenreich. Saw it coming. I didn't see it coming this soon, but it was bound to happen eventually. Couple of theories. Maybe he's a double agent. Maybe him and his dad set this whole thing up. Because if his dad didn't get invited, that means that he's already left the Vandenreich, and maybe Hochwald's not strong enough to take on Ryukin to convince him. I'm not sure about this whole Juwabon taking powers thing. Does it work on full blood Quincy's? Because if it doesn't, then Ryukin is safe, and Ryukin stands a chance of fighting Juwabon pretty much. Another theory is to pretty much avenge his mother. Maybe at the same time Ishin was telling Ichigo about his mom, Ryukin was telling Uryu about Katsugiri. So that's one thing. Another theory is maybe Juwabon is somehow controlling Uryu. Because before Ichigo activated the Blue Fade, Juwabon told Oswald to get Ichigo because he needed to be cleansed. So maybe he's controlling Uryu somehow. Those are my theories.
I agree with a lot of the things you said about him being a double agent, or possibly even controlling him. But Uryu had that look on his face, to me it seemed more like he was in control. It was almost like a face he does whenever he, sees Ichigo. He doesn't really like Ichigo, and we know that, but in a way he respects him. But I think it's more so just, I don't like you. But I don't know. Uryu is sort of developing that furrowed brow look. I think it is more personal gain for Uryu. He is going to utilize being a member of the Wandenreich to greatly increase his power by a lot. Maybe even take Hochwald's position. And but I think that's the only thing it is he's going to that and gather intel from the inside of the Vandenreich and reveal later to the Shinigamis perhaps, or maybe even just himself, take them out from the inside by himself. But I definitely think it's to avenge his mother, maybe, in a way. Because Ichigo's just gotten his resolve, and we've seen that. And his resolve was the Quincy, Juha Bach, has killed my mother, and my resolve is I am going to kill Juha Bach. And Now thinking back on it, the look on his face wasn't the one that he shows Ichigo. It was a resolve. That was Uryu's look of resolve. He has decided what he is going to do, and I think it's the same resolve as Ichigo. My mother was stolen from me by this person. I am going to get stronger and stronger until I'm strong enough to take them down. And I think at the end of Bleach, it will be a double-sided attack on Bach from Ichigo and Uryu. They'll team up in the end. So yeah, that is my theory on Uryu.
Few little things to say there. I agree with you on everything you just said. Uryu desperately needs a power up
Yeah.
because he hasn't gotten a push that he pretty much deserved ever since the Soul Society arc.
Yeah.
Like the Soul Society arc was pretty much the last time we saw him relevant, in the story, and power scheme wise.
Yeah.
Maybe he's there to learn how to control his still form. Maybe he has a complete holy form right now, and my guess on Kubo is that every holy form we've seen so far looks similar to Kyrie's,
Yeah.
but he's going to do something special with Uryu's. So I'm interested in that. There was one more thing I was going to say. I believe Ichigo is going to fight Uryu 3 times. Ichigo's going to win, then Uryu's going to win, and on the last time they're going to turn and fight Juha Bach. So this is years in the making, and it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about the fighting. Yeah, Ichigo and Uryu are definitely going to fight. They're the 2 main characters, and they will fight.
You hear that, guys? Uryu is the secondary main character.
Yep.
He's Ichigo's rival, not Grimjo.
No.
Uryu is Ichigo's rival.
Ichigo turned and saved Grimjo in the end. And, Rukia is not the second main character, and neither is Renjin. It's Uryu.
We'll say one thing, though. Uryu is going to be a part of the next purge of Soul Society.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And the person he's going to run into, I honestly feel, when he fights in Soul Society, it's either going to be Rukia or Renji.
Yeah.
It won't be anyone else but Rukia or Renji. He won't run into Mayuri. He'll run into either Rukia or Renji.
You know who else he could run into? There is a possibility of him running into Byakuya, simply because Byakuya was also there whenever Rukia was taken back to Soul Society. It's not nearly as big of a possibility as Renji or Rukia, but it's a slim possibility. But I think Renji's the one who dispatched him in the first place, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And Uryu's never got his rematch.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna suck. If it's like you're rooting for both of them to have their power ups because Renji needs a spotlight and so does Uryu. And it's like, okay, put the 2 spotlights together, and then whoever loses, you're gonna be sad.
We go on.
I was just gonna say maybe not, because maybe it's his first raid on Soul Society or Purge. So, what were we gonna say?
Well, I believe if Uryu ends up facing off against Renji, he's gonna pull some crazy new Quincy technique out.
Yeah.
Like maybe the thing that he's assigned to, like how Kyrie was assigned to be the gel person.
Yeah.
And Asuna was assigned to be the fear person. And like Roy and Lloyd, they pretty much changed their appearance, something like that.
Yeah.
And so maybe Uryu's gonna get some special Quincy power, and maybe that's gonna help him defeat Renji. But I don't see him losing, because losing in your first purge isn't gonna send a good message to Juha.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, Uryu is the Prince of Light, so that must mean he's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that hints at Uryu being the second main character. Ichigo is the sun born in darkness, and Uryu is the Prinz von Licht, the Prince of Light. So, yeah, that's kind of what makes it. Um, Anything else to add? I can't think of anything.
Uh, Maybe we should talk about where Ichigo's going.
Oh yeah. Um, well, I have a few theories. I believe there's three possible places for him to go. He is either going to Ryukin, the Ashita Manor, to see Ryukin, to talk to him and find out everything about Uryu and what happened with him, and find out about his past and Misaki, and get the other side of the story and everything, which I think is probably the most likely, in my opinion. Um, and this will be the first real discussion ever, I think, that Ichigo and Ryukin have had. The other two less likely places for me are Misaki's grave. I mean, the only real thing he can do at Misaki's grave is just talk to himself and say, you know, wish I knew more about you, maybe, or now I know everything about you, and I understand, I wish I could have done something, blah, blah, blah. Or he goes to Urahara's place. I know everybody's saying Urahara isn't back yet, but we haven't seen him arrive back yet. So it's possible that, Kubo just had him slip through Hueco Moon and go straight back to the human world. So, yeah. And maybe, and if he does that, then I think there's a high chance of Ichigo running into Grimmjow. Because he's got to come back sooner or later. But, I think you go to Urahara and talk to him and be like, you were the other person involved with my mother. What happened? I need to know what happened to her exactly and why she died or whatever. But it's one of those three places. So, what do you think, Quincy?
Um, what I think is Ichigo's going to run off. I think he is going to Misaki's grave, but he's just going to run into Grimmjow. Like, Grimmjow's going to be in the middle of the street, and Ichigo's going to run right into him. And I think Ichigo is going to be stuck with three different ultimatums. Either grow his Quincy powers, maybe from training with Ryukin, grow his Hollow powers, training with Grimmjow, or make his way back to Soul Society and the Royal Court Guard Palace to train his Shinigami powers. Because no one's better than training a visor Hollow powers than a Hollow.
Yeah.
And who better than Grimmjow?
It's a very
That's all I gotta say.
It's a very interesting theory. I never even thought of that. Like, the power struggle. Ichigo is the hybrid, so he can work on focusing one and making it vastly more impressive than the other. And that's the whole entire reason Oetsu said, send him back to the human world. He says, find out who you are. Don't come back until you know. And so, he knows, and this is his decision. So, very good theory. I like it. We'll find out. We'll find out next week. But yeah, that was very. Did not think of that. Do you have anything else to add, or anything else you think?
I think we're good with that.
Okay. Was there any other things you wanted to discuss?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I am the Shinigami, and there are lots of links in the description. And if you've seen our other videos, you know what to do. Yeah.
I'll post the link to a list that's a friend of mine sent to me on Twitter about 10 reasons why Uryu joined the Sternritters. It's pretty funny, so I think you guys get a good laugh out of that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely check out our Twitters. We talk about these theories all the time. All right. Well, unless you have anything else to add, I am the Shinigami,
And I'm the Quincy.
and I am signing off.
Adios, otakus.
Jana.